season is upon us. We've got the gift of the NFL as we're underway here in Week 16.
Montrell Washington on the return from his end zone. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line.
At their own 28-yard line.
Fields going to throw right away.
Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked up by John Williams.
And the Vikings are going to take possession of the football.
It's no secret he's had trouble this year with interceptions, and this is a bad start for him. First drive, throwing it up in.
No matter who's broadcasting his game, that's how the conversation begins. Throwing too many interceptions. Can he take care of the football? If I were his backup, I'd be edging towards the coaches and saying, hey, how about giving me an opportunity?
A little jet sweep to start the drive. And he'll get this to the 30-yard line before crossing over out of bounds. He'll get 15 and a Vikings first down.
And that's something you have to get ready for defensively because in today's NFL, teams will use their wide receivers on jet sweeps, end arounds. They'll move them back in the backfield and make them running backs. Partner, this was much more of a tap pass, but effective nonetheless.
And I think both guys love it. If you're a quarterback, it's an easy completion. If you're a wide receiver,
he rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Justin Simmons.
And the Broncos are going to have it here at their own 32-yard line. And this, Charles, definitely not what they were wanting to see. Remember, he threw 3 interceptions in the loss last week, and now he gives the ball away again here in the very first quarter.
And you have to think that this was drilled into him all week, too, by his teammates, by his coaching staff. They've told him all week long, we've got to protect the football. They probably crossed that fine line with giving him the right advice and saying it too much, and it turned out that it got into his head a little bit.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And they've got to be breathing a little bit of a sigh of relief. The first time you throw the football winds up being picked, but fortunately for them, it does not lead to points.
Together, what's that term they use? Complementary football. Okay, he threw the pick. The defense got together and said, hey, let's shut him down. Let's not turn it into points. They did exactly that. Now he gets a fresh start, a clean slate.
So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10.
Out of the gun, Fields.
He'll find Henderson there. It's complete. And he takes this just a few yards shy of the red zone before going out. This gain not quite as good as the last, but still over 40 yards between the two.
Well, they use him a lot out of the backfield. He had 5 catches a week ago, and he makes another catch here for good yardage.
On first down, it's Fields.
Looking sideline, incomplete.
And not a common sight, at least on this drive. A momentary setback, though, for this passing game that has been moving well this series. Good thing for them, though. Still 2 more downs to connect and try and pick up another first down.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down.
On play action, Fields. And that would get a right up incomplete. Nearly an interception in the end zone. Probably should have been. 3rd down coming up.
They're giving him some different looks here defensively in the early going. He's only hit 2 of his first 5 passes. With a big 3rd down coming up, he's hoping he's got a play dialed up that can take advantage of whatever the defense throws at him.
This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have him looking at 3rd and 10.
Fields.
And he fires one that's intercepted.
And the Vikings are going to have it here as they start down 24-yard line.
That doesn't take a investigation for the Raiders to sitting at 0 on the scoreboard because the quarterback's got a pretty good starting defense. They look a lot better after throwing his 2nd interception.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive.
And we'll see if they can bounce back from that last drive. In particular, if they can bounce back at the quarterback position, Charles, after throwing their first interception of the ball game.
Yeah, some guy.
And now
Second and 8.
they'll run. This is Darrell Henderson down right around the 25. Just a couple on the ground there, and that's going to bring up 3rd and about 6.
Not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped him. Marked that down for a win in the defense's column.
Throwing on 3rd down, Fields.
And it'll be intercepted.
And the Vikings are going to take possession here. It's a touchback. And they'll take it over at the 20-yard line. Charles, I don't know what's going on in that defensive team meeting room, but they better keep it rolling. 3 picks last week, 2 here now in the first quarter.
Everyone talks about creating turnovers and getting takeaways, but until it gets put into action, it's just talk. And right now, it's in action and in a big way. Now they've got the receivers wondering if they have to turn around and play more defense instead of running routes trying to take the ball downfield.
A little bit of daylight on that first down run sets him up nicely. 8 yards on the carry.
I'd say it's pretty good strategy. If you throw interceptions on back-to-back drives, let's see if the running backs can handle the ball a little bit, get things going. And also, you motivate your offensive line. I think they're in the mood to fire out and hit someone.
I thought the defense, though, might be a little more prepared for that run. Pretty good gain on the ground. Looking to throw on 2nd down.
Knight, quick throw, knocked away, and incomplete.
The quarterback got away with one there. Looked like he was in line for a pick, but instead, it's knocked harmlessly to the turf.
After the incompletion, here now, 3rd and 2. Looking to throw. Knight. He'll dump this off to Cook. And he gets this up to the 34 out of bounds there. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains.
The Vikings at 2-12 in what has been a tough year. And they come in the midst of a season-crushing losing streak. It's up to 9 games now.
And this is a team that's not shown much consistency during this losing streak because they've never really looked like they've been ready to play. You question their motivation. You wonder what's going on with them. And I'll have a PhD in psychology, but the body language, it's awful.
Now here's a pass on first down that's knocked away and incomplete.
I spotted man coverage on the outside. I expect we'll see a lot of that from this defense as this game moves on. And that was a good job there as that one was knocked away.
From the 34, they'll come to the line on 2nd and 10. Again, he'll drop to throw. Setting up the screen for Cook. And he'll go out of bounds, it looks like, right at the 40. 5 yards, now it's 3rd and 5.
Boy, that was certainly well-read defensively. And the key to any screenplay is space to work. And there was none to be found there. And they tackle it for just a short gain.
They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And that will be incomplete.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone. And there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
On 4th down, punt coming from Braden Mann.
And just a single punt for him in the loss last week as he sends this one away. We'll call it a 42-yard punt, 3 on the return. And the Broncos take over, 1st down and 10. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. You know, Charles, season winding down, time to maybe look ahead to the offseason. What do you see these guys going? And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today.
And the Vikings are going to take possession of the football.
This is just crazy. He's got 3 interceptions, Charles, and we haven't even departed the first half of this ball game.
I think if you're looking at the stats right now, you're saying, all right, who's the leading receiver? Or can you flip it around and say that maybe he is and could be for the game the way that things are going right now? I think if it's him, he wants to be on the field at all times.
And they're going to move it down to inside the 25.
Brandon, once that one broke down, there were only so many options left for him to take. Fortunately, only 1st down, so he smartly got the yardage he could get and didn't worry about trying to turn it into a bigger play and end up taking a bigger loss. Here, they hope they can regroup and get something different going here on 2nd down.
To throw on 2nd down. Knight. And he's going to go down here. A sack. They push him back to the 34.
Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah has now recorded 10 sacks on the season.
Okay, I'm not sure you could actually draw a better pass rush than that one right there. Nowhere to go outside. He had to keep backing up and backing up and backing up. Eventually dropped for a huge loss.
Throwing on 3rd and long. Knight throwing left side here, and it's complete.
And he's brought down inside the 20 at the 18-yard line.
Those are the kinds of plays right there that show you why he's the number 3 man in the NFL in terms of receiving yards.
Also tells you there's a full combination of what he's got going in his game. You name it, from route running to catching the football. That's why he's able to produce those types of numbers.
Now the Vikings will send out the special teams crew here for a field goal try. This just a 35-yard attempt from the left hash. And his kick here is good. And the Vikings have a 3-0 lead.
So the interception setting up a terrific field position with 3 points, the end result.
Yeah, we can make this one pretty simple, partner. You always want to end drives with points. but that's one that you're going to look back on and probably say, we should have done better there.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember last time out, they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back, but make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
A good gain on first has him set up with second and just a couple of inches now from the 29.
Fields now to throw. And this throw incomplete. Well, the defender all over it that time, and it's going to lead to third down. I hate to say it, Charles, but the way that he has played in this first half, you just kind of hold your breath every time he drops back to pass.
Yeah, you might be holding your breath, but those guys on the defensive side of the ball, they've got big smiles on their faces. He's handing out picks like the people just leave the candy out at Halloween and you take what you want. They're having a blast out there playing against him today.
And he can't bring it in. Incomplete. He dropped it on the crossing route. Fourth down now. The Broncos send out their punter now. Now a timeout called for by the offense. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter.
Fields on the sneak.
And he's going to have the first down yardage to the 35. They only needed a few inches, but still some anxious moments there, but they do convert on fourth.
But when you do call quarterback sneak, you don't mind if your quarterback's a little bit on the vertically challenged side, do you? Because he's just going to hide behind his big guys up front and be able to surge forward and pick up the first down.
And he checks this one down to Williams. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. 3-0 after 1 on EA Sports.
Second and 16. Now Fields.
Man open. And now a fumble. The ball's out. And the Vikings pick up the football. And they will set up shop in enemy territory at the 42-yard line. And so the last 3 drives, you've got 2 interceptions and a fumble. I think we know why they're losing right now.
Without question, and we've seen the evidence, just what you talked about there. If they take care of the football, number 1, maybe they're not having this deficit. And number 2, maybe they actually have the lead.
Following the fumble recovery, Knight. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
That was nice work there defensively to force incompletion. Now, even though this drive started in plus territory, they're still not in field goal range yet. So they can work towards another couple of stops and not allowing that turnover to hurt.
To throw again, Knight. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete.
And they'll work this down inside the 30.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield. for a deeper route and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
On 1st and 10, Knight.
Well, he was hit as he threw it there, and that one winds up incomplete.
That certainly appeared to be a play call where they were just trying to make second down, second and short. I think they thought the coverage was off a little bit more than it was. Nice job there pressing up on it and forcing the incompletion.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 29. Up the middle, it's Cook. And he'll take this down just shy of the 25-yard line. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead. Pretty good little 2-play sequence there. You force the incompletion and a very short pickup.
Yeah, now maybe you bring in an extra defensive back or two because you want to try and defend on 3rd down. They like to play those nickel or sub packages, don't they?
On 3rd down, Knight. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted.
Picked off by Pat Surtain. And the Broncos are going to take possession of the football.
He's at it again, Charles. He had the pick 6 last week. Not a pick 6 here, but an interception.
That's another Oski, because that's the word we use when we intercept a pass. Oski tells your team to rally around and block for you. Well, that worked really well last week because he had made it all the way to the end zone. This week he got the Oski, maybe not a touchdown, but boy, he's playing really well.
Now the Broncos going to use the 2nd of their timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside.
Now a 1st down throw, Fields.
Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down.
Jalen Phillips
Buries him for a loss of 11 from his outside linebacker spot.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes. And just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back.
And now here is another interception.
Picked off by Lewis Seen.
And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown.
Charles, you can just see the frustration on the sideline. Safe to say that's not how they expected this series to go. The ball only went one way, and it was backward into their own end zone, courtesy of the pick 6.
And, Brandon, how often do we hear offenses tell us before a game they want to end every series with a kick, right? A punt, a PAT, or a field goal. In the case of a defense, they want to end with a punt or a takeaway. And we saw the takeaway right there, and it turned out to be a takeaway that turned into 6 points.
And he'll just sit on this one as their drive will start at the 25. Pick 6 last drive. Here's Fields again. That'll be swung out wide here for Henderson.
And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. Looked like a pretty good, safe play right there. No, he's had trouble with the interceptions in this game there. Hits his guy out in the flat.
And so many times we hear quarterbacks and offensive coordinators talk about in your progressions, you're either throwing the touchdown or you're throwing the check down. But earlier in the game, it was touchdown or interception. Now he got to the check down, a nice safe throw, and a good one.
And he got half of what he needed there, 2 yards, and it'll bring up a 3rd and 2 more.
Whenever we talk about the best strong safeties, one word constantly comes up, and that's instincts. Being able to diagnose run or pass and make the appropriate moves.
He crashed down hard there. He was ready for that running play.
And that one going nowhere from the start as he's met in the backfield and goes backwards. This defense not budging. Back-to-back carries of just 2 yards.
I get the thought process. 3rd and short, give it to the fullback, let him bulldoze his way. But that means you're counting on your offensive line to win the line of scrimmage, aren't you?
Yeah, and there was just a mass of bodies there at the line. Looked like more defenders than offensive guys. Winds up losing yardage. The Broncos send out their punter now as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. Fair catch called. It's taken in right at the 20-yard line. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And with 3 interceptions thrown already, we'll see. Do they rely more on the ground game here?
They may have to change things offensively to try and settle things down, not just for the guy throwing the ball, but for the rest of the offensive unit, because their confidence has to be shaken a little bit. And you just wonder, is the backup going to start to warm up a little bit over on the sideline?
First down, here's the run with Cook. And strong running there as he's across midfield and down to the 49. Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last 2 plays.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Operating from the gun. Knight. And the Broncos get there and take him down. Trayvon Walker charging hard from that linebacker spot, and he drops him for a loss of 11.
Now that was a passer's nightmare. The front door totally shut down by the defense, so he kept going backwards, hoping to find another avenue of escape. It didn't exist.
Looking to throw on second down. Knight. Hit as he throws there, incomplete. The pressure really ratcheting up. They get the sack on first down, then a near sack. They got to him there just as it was leaving his hand.
Yeah, they might need to change their pass protection scheme a little bit. Maybe bring another guy into the backfield to help protect the quarterback, because that was awfully close.
The offense on third down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This will be 3rd and forever. Operating from the gun. Knight. That's complete to Justin Jefferson. And this is going to be another first down as they make the tackle at the Broncos' 31-yard line. A real letdown defensively. That was 3rd and a long. But they allow the conversion. That's what we're used to seeing from him right there. Plays like that, why he's number 4 in the league in terms of receiving yardage.
Able to make adjustments all along the way. Doesn't matter where he lines up, where he releases from. Working his way into the secondary, figures out defenses and finds weak spots in order to get open.
Consecutive catches for him. That good for 11. We've hit the 2-minute mark of the first half. 10-0 our score. Give to Cook out of the gun. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
I thought he did a nice job there setting an edge and make sure nothing could get to the outside. But he decided that wasn't enough for him. Worked his way back inside and made the tackle on the ball carrier.
Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. Back to throw. Knight. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. It's Devin Bush, the linebacker, who picks it. And the Broncos are going to get the football here as he gets this up to the 38-yard line. So this defense coming up with a takeaway, and maybe that's something that can bring a little life to that sideline.
Well, I don't want to say that they've been sleepwalking through this first half, because that's simply not true. But you're right. We haven't seen a lot of fire from these guys, really, on either side of the ball. So maybe that's the catalyst that they needed to get them back into this game.
And my goodness, another interception.
Andrew Booth picks it off.
And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown.
An excellent play there, CD, on the pick six. And I think were they a nickel? Did they have an extra DB out there?
Yeah, Brandon, I think they went standard nickel, not the Buffalo, as teams like to call it, meaning 3 safeties for big nickel. They just wanted to take away the quarterback's throwing lanes, and that's exactly what they did, and came through with a big-time pick six.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six, and now the kick is away.
No run back here, down to a knee, and this drive will start at the 25.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive.
And Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
As this old brain remembers, when I see 5 wide receivers on the field as a defender, I know the ball's coming out hot. They expected it and got there and popped it free.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. And he'll be brought down at the 28, and that is well short of the first. And the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime.
On 4th down, Fields.
And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. Boy, a curious decision to go for it. Doesn't pan out. And the Vikings, they have the football now in excellent field position. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And an incomplete pass. That'll stop the clock here with just under a minute to play in half number 1.
They started this drive backed up against the wall by the turnover. But I love their fight. Planted their feet and forced the incompletion on 1st down.
So now they'll come up on 2nd and 10, once again from the 28. Throwing again. Knight. And he comes back with one complete.
And he's going to be brought down at about the 16.
Doesn't matter whether it's a zone coverage or man coverage, the drag route can be effective when it's run away.
So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10.
Looking to throw. Knight.
A quick throw knocked away. It's incomplete.
Yes, sir. How about an attaboy there on 1st down? Got his hand in and knocked it away.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. Back to throw again. That is going to go down. Back at the 27-yard line. He's sacked. The Vikings going to use their third and final timeout as the clock will stop with 20 seconds to go in the first half. Now on third and long, they'll look to throw.
And that will be incomplete. Oh, he left that one in a bad spot, but fortunately it's just an incompletion and not picked to bring up fourth down.
Coverage was awfully tight there on third down. They actually closed off all the passing lanes, forcing the incompletion and bringing up fourth down.
And this is going to be no good. He missed it off to the left.
Always disappointing when you miss a field goal, but when you're playing against a defense this good, you and I both know that's a crucial miss because you can't afford to leave any points out there. You've got to take them when you can.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this. And now here is another interception. And the Vikings are going to get this back to their own 34-yard line. Well, Charles, they're so close to halftime there. You throw the interception. Not only that, you do give it to them in plus territory as well.
Yeah, they were pushing real hard to try and get something more on the board on their side of the ledger right before the half. Looking at it with 20/20 hindsight, though, might have been better to hand it off a few times, hoping to get something to break instead of putting the ball in the air and, of course, putting the ball in jeopardy.
Looking left side, it's complete. He's got it. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the third quarter. The Vikings have to like their position. They've got the lead. They get this football as well as we are back and underway for the second half. Nwangu now from his end zone. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive.
Hey, Charles, they've got the lead. Put your coaching hat on here now. What's the game plan for the second half?
I think getting the running game going a little bit more because I thought in the first half they didn't get it moving the way that they had success doing. But I think these first couple of drives, if I get the running backs going and give them more opportunities, and I will guarantee you that there's going to be in the locker room at halftime.
A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. He'll be brought down by the Broncos. It's a sack.
Multiple defenders getting home there for a loss of 11.
This is a little hard for me to compute because I'm watching sack after sack happen, but somehow they're still behind in the game. I would expect all of this defensive pressure to translate to them taking a lead, and thus far, it hasn't happened. Time's winding down. They don't want to waste this type of performance from these ace pass rushers. And a lot of times, these plays, they either go for nothing or they go for big yardage. And here, they got to the outside, turned it upfield, and ended up getting a nice little gain out of it.
Tall task ahead of him here, needing a full 15 yards to move the chains.
throwing on 3rd and long. Knight. And the throw there going to be incomplete. So good work there on the defensive side for the first drive of the second half.
Yeah, and until their offense can get into rhythm, their defensive players and staff have got to say to themselves, we've got to make it work. We've got to stand in here and make sure nothing else happens until our guys start moving the ball.
That'll be a 43-yard punt, but a net of just 33 following a 10-yard return.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive.
They'll run with a backup. This is Williams. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7.
They'll stay on the ground with Williams.
And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. That one good for 13 and a Denver first down.
That's pretty much meat and potatoes right there, wasn't it? Just go right at them and let your big horse charge up the middle. Not too fancy there, was it?
Nothing fancy at all. Challenging that defense, and on that go-around, the offense won the challenge. Now he's going to swing this one out to his running back, and he'll be stopped right at midfield. 11 more yards that go-around, a first down as well.
Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I don't think you get much more balance than this. Big-time run, big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Looked pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to take that kind of a punch, though.
Now a first down. Second and 9.
Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run.
A play fake, now Fields to throw.
And he will find his man Sutton. That's complete. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. 17 yards on the play as they try to eat into this 17-point deficit.
Well, we talk all the time about playing situational football, and right now I think the scoreboard is dictating what they need to do. Where they are in this game, they've got to push the ball downfield, take their shots, try to get big chunks of yardage in a short amount of time. That was a nice play there.
And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
You've got to be impressed by that defensive front on rips like those. They were not being moved off the line, kept their shoulders square, and gave their teammates time to fight to the ball and limit that gain.
Williams going to get it again on 2nd down.
And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. A 10-yard pickup, and it's enough for a Broncos first down.
Despite the score, despite the deficit, no quitting this guy. He's running angry, running through arm tackles. He wants to change what that scoreboard is saying.
Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10.
Back to throw. Fields.
Quick hitter here. It's complete. That was the 8th play of the drive, so a somewhat fitting pickup of 8 yards.
8 yards on the pickup. Runs up 2nd and 2 at the 14-yard line.
Ahead of the chains now, 2nd and 2. On the option right is Fields.
And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. 4 yards on the play, and that leads to the 1st and goal.
So that was all you're looking for on a play like that. Get the first down and keep the drive moving.
Yeah, it just looked to me like he just said to himself, I've got this. I'll take it. I'll pick it up, and let's keep moving. Get the first down, get a new set, and let's start over.
First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. They'll try and run. This is Williams. And hit behind the line. He lost the football. It's loose. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Well, if these guys wanted to get back in this game, they needed an almost perfect second half. And down 3 scores, a lost fumble here certainly doesn't fit into that plan.
That reminds me of my plan in college to get an A on the papers I turned in, but that didn't work out.
And this turns into disaster. He's not going to get forward progress. That'll be a safety.
At this point, I think it's a surprise when he isn't close to being sacked on a passing down. The amount of times he's hit the deck today, I think a lot of us are reading safety before they even took the snap. Simply a merciless pass rush every step of the game, and that rush earns a crowning achievement there.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. I had one tell me once, when we were having a tough patch, this too shall pass, this too shall pass. And finally we kept having a rough patch. He said, but you got to do something to make it pass. And that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm things down.
See if they can get calm and reassert themselves here. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack.
Multiple defenders there to drop him for a loss of 4.
One quarter remains here in Week 16. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Second and 14 as they've got work to do here after the sack.
From the gun, here's Fields.
And he's going to drop this off to Williams, complete. And he's going to be taken down right at the line. So back-to-back plays, each get nothing. And that'll force upon them a 3rd and 14. They tried to swing it out left into the flat, but the defense, they were very principled there.
It felt very West Coast offense, didn't it? You know their expression, right? On a West Coast offense, when they throw the ball, it's either going to be a touchdown or a check down, meaning they like to press it downfield. If they don't have it, swing it out, which is exactly what we saw there. But how about the great pursuit and tackle to make a nice play?
And this offense on 3rd down today, a pretty woeful 0 for 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 14. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
When you're leading in the fumble, your radar has to be on any potential deep shots. And probably not the last one they're going to see in this game, not as long as they hold this lead.
Fourth down, Fields has to have this one.
And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Broncos unable to convert here on 4th, and that will force a turnover on downs. So they really needed points here in a 2-score game. Could not come away with anything there on 4th.
And while we know they're a little bit discouraged here, they can't check out of this game. You and I have called a good number of games over the course of our career where we've seen these types of situations. Teams get the ball back, and that miracle does occur. So they can't let that dream go just yet. They have to get stout on defense here.
Yeah, right now really hoping for a turnover. So this helps to start a drive. After the penalty, it'll be 1st and 5. Left side, Cook. And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line.
67 yards rushing for him now on just 6 carries to this point.
I tell you, they didn't give it to him much for the first 3 quarters, but when they have, he's been efficient. Maybe they ride him more here down the stretch.
Man, not sure it was actually in the game plan for him to have as few carries as he has, but it might play out really well for them now. As you noted, if they want to ride him down the stretch, he should have fresh legs.
Throwing on first down. Knight. And that'll be knocked away. It's incomplete.
This is what defensive coaches ask of their defenders every single ball game. Get a hand on every throw in coverage. They want the deflections. They want the knockaways. Pick it yourself if you can, but at least knock it down and guarantee it's incomplete.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Getting the ball is Cook running left. And he's going to push his way down to about the 12.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
And he's able to pick up the first before he's brought down inside the 5 at the 4. The drive stays alive, a 3rd down gain of 8.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with, and throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
This defense not fooled one bit on that touch pass.
And this has become one of those kind of in vogue plays, you know, kind of like the shuffle pass was a few years ago. This one never got off the ground, but you understand why a lot of teams are running it. These wide receivers, a lot of them, they've run like running backs with the ball in their hands.
On 2nd down, Cook. And he's going to get him about 3 yards closer. He's down to about the 2. The recipe's pretty simple, I think, right? And give your superstar the ball, continue to feed him.
Yeah, don't overthink this one, right? Make sure he's touching the football, but you're also counting on his intelligence in playing the game as well. If it's not there, don't force the run. Just make sure you hang on to the football and keep the clock ticking.
A lot of tired bodies on that field, but this is a big play, 3rd and goal.
Again, it's Cook, but he will lose yardage here as they knock him back to the 3.
Tough sledding. They lose a yard there on 3rd. Now the Vikings will send out the special teams crew here for a field goal try. This to make it a 3-score game late. And his kick is indeed good, and that will extend their lead even further. So that is certainly the final piece to this puzzle, a 3-score lead. I don't think there's any coming back from there.
But, you know, normally I'd get on you for giving up on the game right here, but I do think you're right in this case. This late in the game, 2 scores is tough enough. 3, I'm with you. That seems out of the question.
And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive.
It's now appearing that this losing streak is going to continue.
And he loses the football a 2nd time. And his guys will take over at the 14-yard line in the red zone.
And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, you'd say an afternoon to forget, absolutely. Toward the back corner of the end zone, but he could not get the feet down. This will wind up incomplete. The incompletion there stops the clock. Any surprise they're throwing here late?
Ordinarily, yes, because you would think enough is enough. They've got plenty of lead, but I've seen this a bunch of times as well. The defense is going to crowd the line of scrimmage. If you just hand it off inside, you're getting your running back popped a lot as well. Sometimes the defense dictates it. If they're going to crowd it, you may have no other choice but to throw it downfield.
Now a 2nd down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete.
That was a touchdown if he could have hung on. Instead, it was a well-timed collision to jar that one free.
The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. Back to throw. Knight. Blitz coming, and down he goes. The safety blitz turns out to be a great call defensively as they sack him for a loss of 9.
Safety blitz, such a fun play call to witness when it works. And the deep man can get home for a sack. Great timing by him. Interception earlier in this contest. Now a sack.
Oh, they pitch to the tight end. It's a fake. They pass up the 3, fake it. It doesn't work. And the Broncos will take over on downs.
Well, I like the chutzpah there, right? They decided to go ahead and fake it and try and pick up a first down. But how about how they executed defensively and smothered that one? I know back from my time frame, everyone has responsibilities, even rushing on a field goal attempt. You've got the tight end, you've got the wing back, you might have the guy out of the backfield, but they executed that well and really stuck to what they needed to do.
It wasn't just 11 guys trying to block it. They were ready, they got it done. This drive starting off on the right foot, 18 yards.
Just a simple tap pass, but it pays off in a big way.
And sometimes the simple stuff causes the most problems for a defense because there's a breakdown in communication there. When that receiver goes behind the line of scrimmage and it looks like he's going in motion, someone either has to go with him or he has to be passed off to another defender. Somehow they didn't get that communicated well, and it turned into a nice play.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with a bandit.
Call that a loss of a yard, and things get a little more difficult here, 3rd and 5.
I think this offense, specifically this running game, they got to find a way to turn the page because they haven't found a way to run it effectively thus far, and it's cost them.
The Broncos on 3rd down. They're struggling. 0 for 6 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5.
To throw is Fields.
And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
And that's another play that's been in the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
They snap it to Fields.
And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Broncos unable to convert here on 4th. And it'll be a turnover on downs. Well, they've clearly made a conscious decision here to be more aggressive in the late stages of this game here in the second half.
And I get it. In this situation, if you want to be aggressive out near midfield, you feel good about your defense maybe, or just, hey, I thought I had a proper play call. But how about the guys that just stopped them? How good do they feel right now? You want to go for it here? We shut you down? They're over on the bench right now feeling great.
On 1st down, Knight. He's going to sling this deep downfield. Touchdown, Vikings. A big play there. With a lucky number 13 touchdowns now in the air. And the Vikings look like they're going to get back in the win column as they extend their lead here in this 4th quarter. Extra point right down the middle. And they open the lead up now to 25. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive.
Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds. They've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
Call it a gain of 4 there, so it sets up a big play here, 3rd and a yard. So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. Boy, and now they can't even get a play off. Well, just a little too lackadaisical, Charles, and they didn't get up and snap the ball in time. Delay of game.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if he understood where the clock was located. In different stadiums, it's in different places. You have to check that in pregame and make sure you're aware so you don't run into penalties like these.
Bad time to get a delay of game penalty there. Not that there's a good time, but that makes it 3rd and 6. Up the middle, it's Williams. And he's going to have the Broncos first down as the tackle made at the 35-yard line. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
First down, Broncos.
Now a 10th carry. Here's Williams. And some room to maneuver. And he takes it all the way down to the 3. After the big play, a chance to finish now on 1st and goal. They'll run it with Williams. And they'll get him down just shy of the goal line at about the 1. Now we'll get whistles, and they signal for a timeout. Not sure I see the logic in this, but we'll get a stoppage anyway with 5 seconds remaining. 2nd and goal from the 1. Now here's Fields on the sneak, and he'll get in. He's over for the touchdown. Justin Fields scoring on the sneak from a yard out. And the Broncos are finally into the end zone here in this 4th quarter. Extra point put through by Boswell. And that'll cut the lead down to 18.
Broncos 9. First Boswell set to kick off.
Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken.
The Vikings take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. Just all around a solid performance, and now they've got the 3-score lead here, Charles. So the final seconds. And my goodness, another interception. Picked up by Rock Ya-Sin. And the Broncos come up with a late turnover, but it will probably only matter to the statisticians as this ball game is now officially over. So the final seconds have ticked away in this Minnesota victory, and it's going to be their defense that gets the ink in the headline.